If you want to develop more executive presence and executive gravitas as you proceed up the organizational ladder, but the question is, what are the elements that you need to pay attention to as you grow your career? I'm going to give you 3 elements today that you should think of. Hi, I am Muhyiddin Sheikh, leadership communication coach and high performance strategist. Before I start sharing with you those 3 elements, I would like to tell you a story that will help you to understand how important these 3 elements are in order to become a great leader. This is the story about Shyam, Pankaj, and Karan. They were working for a renowned company. They were colleagues. All 3 of them were hardworking, smart, and capable. But Shyam and Pankaj were more experienced than Karan. They all would love their work and they were having nice time together. After some time, the company announces that they are going to open a new branch and they are looking for someone for the leadership role for the new branch. All other staffs were confident. They were sure that either Shyam or Pankaj will be appointed for the new leadership role. The boss and the manager appointed a few experts for the observation of the performance of all the staffs to find out new leader for the new branch. After the observation and analysis, the boss comes and announces the new leader for the new branch, and it was Karan. When everybody heard the name of Karan, they were surprised because they were expecting that either Shyam or Pankaj will be promoted for the new leadership role for the new branch, but that didn't happen. Everybody was confused that why this decision was made. Even Shyam and Pankaj could not stop themselves and they went to the boss to talk regarding this. Boss welcomed them in his office, made them comfortable and appreciated their hard work and said that both of you are smart and capable, but both of you lack 3 elements that is required for the leadership role. In this video, I'm going to share with you the same 3 critical elements that will develop your executive presence and executive gravitas and make you a great leader. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please subscribe our channel, and if you get some value, do like the videos. And if you are watching on some other social media platform, do follow us in order to get exotic content about communication, leadership, and high performance. Now, without further ado, let's dive into learn those critical elements. The element number 1 is emotional control. Great leaders have an ability to control their emotion regardless of what's going around them. They focus on the task and problems they have in their hands, because leadership is all about solving problems and accomplishing the task. On the other hand, people who do not have control over the emotion, they get stuck with the problem that's going around them and they are not able to pay attention to the task and problem they have in their hand so that they can solve and go ahead. This is the difference between a leader and a follower. Ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to develop your executive presence in order to become a powerful leader, then you have to learn to control your emotion, because people who cannot control their emotion cannot become a leader. They don't accomplish big in their lives. So learn to control your emotion regardless of what's going around you. Just focus on the task and the problem you have in your hand to accomplish and solve, and you will rock. You will take your leadership to the next level. And this is the same element Shyam and Pankaj were lacking. Although they were experienced, hardworking, and capable, but they would get aggressive Sometimes they would get very emotional. They would get carried away by the problem going around. On the other hand, Karan had an ability to calm down the situation. He would influence other people by his calmness because he had control over emotion. So this is the first element that Pankaj and Shyam were lacking. The element number 2, your image, how you keep yourself, what you dress and how you look. It's very crucial. You should see the leaders and executives who are above you, what they are wearing. The same dressing sense you should adapt to. In fact, I would suggest you observe the leaders and executives who are 2 levels above you. See what they are wearing, how they are keeping themselves, what are their image. Adapt to the same kind of image. That will attract the people around you. The seniors will start looking a leader in you. So whenever there is an opportunity for the leadership role, they will look for you for that leadership role. Pankaj and Shyam were very casual in their dressing sense, and this element they were lacking. On the other hand, Karan would always wear good dresses like their executives and leaders, and he was able to attract people around him because he would dress well, because he has adapted to the dressing sense of the leaders and executives. That made him different from Shyam and Pankaj. The third element is use of your voice. There are 2 elements of your voice. Number 1, pace, how fast or how slow you speak. If you go very fast and talk like this, nobody will think that you are an executive or a leader. So slow it down in an appropriate pace so that people are able to understand you. So people are able to think what you are talking about. And if you are too slow and speak like this, people will think you are dumb. So you have to be moderate. In fact, you have to balance your pace according to the demand of your speech, and you can do it by practicing. And the second element is pitch of your voice, how high or how low you speak. If you are very high and talk like this is not executive presence. So bring your voice down a little deeper. It feels more executive. And if you are very low and speak like this is not executive presence either. So you have to be moderate. You have to make sure that how many people you are talking to, so that each and every person is able to hear you. Each and everybody is able to understand you. If you're talking to one person and you are very loud, the person will get irritated. If you're talking to a group of people and you are very low, nobody will understand. So you have to be moderate. In fact, you have to balance your pitch according to the number of people you are talking to. And the same thing was happening with Shyam, Pankaj and Karan. Shyam and Pankaj were monologue. They would talk in the same tone all the time when they were talking to one person or a group of people. But Karan had learned communication skills, so somewhat he was able to have balance over his pace and pitch. That made him stand out. He was given preference over Shyam and Pankaj. Now you would ask me, Muhyiddin, you are talking about emotional intelligence, image and communication skills. But what about technical skills? Let me tell you, what gets you on the table is your technical skill and intelligence. But what gets you ahead of the table is your emotional intelligence, image, communication skills. It means it's your executive presence and your executive Gravitas. Thank you very much for watching this video. I catch you in next video. Take care. Bye bye.